Finally starting to feel a little bit more like it should for the early times of September. Start things off with a gorgeous shot. One of our neighborhood weather network cameras in Salida looking back at Mount Chavano. Now notice the wind's a bit breezy out of the west. Reason for that area of high pressure as it rolls over top of the mountains. We get kind of those downsloping winds which really help to dry things out and raise those temperatures. 68 degrees at this particular camera. Picture perfect shot. Now as we move over into the Los Animas area, into Purgatory River, we're sitting currently, or I should say about 2:15 this afternoon. We were right about 2.6 feet. Now the National Weather Service does anticipate this river is going to raise a little bit on us, flirting with the flood stage, so they did put out that flood warning, and that's going to be up through Monday there at about 8:43. So do keep that in mind. As we take you over to the map, though, we do have a few higher elevation showers trying to roll through the area, but again, that's just where they're going to stay. Very, very spotty, very, very sporadic. Nothing really to even speak of. We're not expecting any of these are going to break the mountain ranges and make it into eastern Colorado. And cloud cover is pretty much non-existent as well. All the clouds are pretty much staying well out to our east. You can see that system that dropped through the area this past week and brought all that cold air has really began to move out of the area, making way for this big area of high pressure continuing into the area. Now, we just showed you that Mount Chavano camera, and this is where that area of high pressure is beginning to roll over top of the mountains. That's what's kind of kicking up the winds out of the west as that area of high pressure continues to track in. Again, we're looking at a very, very nice Sunday. Look at that. As Sunday starts to roll around, absolutely gorgeous, not a cloud to speak of. Now, we do see a little bit of cooler air trying to drop down out of that area of low pressure up to our north. Not anything like what we saw this last week. However, cooler air is going to start to set in as Sunday evening and afternoon wind around. That is going to help to kick off a little bit of shower activity into the higher elevations. Most of that shower activity is going to stay into the mountains. I don't anticipate much, if any, is going to break off into eastern Colorado. So we're expecting to stay relatively dry tomorrow. As for lows tonight, looking gorgeous into the 40s, mid-40s into the foothills, 50 degrees here into Canyon City, a few 30s into the higher elevations. There you go. Hanging on loosely to 38 special. Little quote of the day for you. As for La Junta, we're looking at 49 degrees, 46 into Lamar there. Tomorrow, I promise this is not a typo, flirting with the 90s in eastern Colorado. Absolutely gorgeous. High 80s into the foothills here into the Springs, 82 degrees, and 70s into the higher elevations. Over the next 7 days, now that cooler air that slips through the region does create a little hiccup into the temperatures. So we start out tomorrow 82, gorgeous conditions, but then again that little hiccup in the temperatures as we move into Monday, but they climb very quickly back up into the 80s. That's likely going to bring a dose of showers through the area Sunday afternoon into Monday, so just do keep that in mind. Nothing really in the way of heavy though. As we move into the Pueblo region, again little hiccup in the temperatures come Monday with some rain showers moving through the area. 40s and 50s for your overnight lows. So overnight lows still feeling a bit fall-like, but daytime highs very, very nice. Into the 70s and 80s next week into Canyon City. And again, some moisture does return to the area once we wind into Thursday and Friday, so do keep that in mind. Into Teller County, again, relatively dry even into Teller County. We're looking at Monday with about 64 degrees, so a pretty steep little temperature drop. 70s to follow again with rain returning to the forecast come Thursday, Friday. We get a pretty decent stream of Pacific moisture trying to move up through the area. So get out and enjoy this next week while you still can. No gloves required. How do you like that?
Yay.
I know,
no
right?
No gloves required.
Well,
I always appreciate that. Going out in the field, shooting all that stuff.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. And no gloves to the Air Force. They were inside today.